Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gameroom Discourse podcast. My name is Mike,
I'm James.
And I'm Joey.
and this week's first week of 2023, or second week actually, of 2023, the podcast is going to be why we started with gaming, our gaming origin story, if you will. And
Probably also going to
Yeah.
talk about why we continue to do it too, because that's also very important.
yeah. All right. Who wants to start?
Well, I guess I could go.
Sure.
Let me see. I think it started out, from what I remember, I could also be wrong, and I've missed a thing from the past. But I remember it did start with Pokemon, and I mean like the early Game Boy Color Pokemon. Like, of course, as many people did, I watched Pokemon as a kid, and well, I eventually saw the Pokemon games series like at a resell area, and I didn't. I was like, oh, I could actually play this thing that I've watched for such a long time. Mind you, this was also during the time when Game Boy Advance had come out already. I just didn't know. It was just a very unfortunate thing of like I didn't find out until then, but I got access to the Game Boy Color games, and I freaking loved them because I got to actually, interact with a world I liked, got to get better at the game, and eventually I got to talk to like a lot of people. Like it was probably like one of my first like common interests I could share with a lot of people, since I was very awkward as a kid. And this basically became my default topic of like, hey, do you like Pokemon? I was like, yeah, of course I love Pokemon. It was
Yeah.
it was a very good starting thing, and I mean like heck, I think that's like the beginning of it, but like eventually I think I liked the challenge of it. I liked the times I could play with friends. Mostly like the interesting new things I get to do when I'm just like sitting at home. I think that was a big part of it for me. Like as a kid, and I say probably now too, where I get to like share, like I get to play a game that I like from and also like play with someone else and just have a fun time, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess
It's
isn't,
good.
like, super complicated, but I guess like it's also something like I've done since I was a kid, so I'm really attached to it too, I guess. Like I probably should say too, like it doesn't like begin and end with Pokemon 2, because I do like the older games, and some of the newer games are like for me. So it's hard to say like what exactly super holds me on to it. I guess sharing common stuff, liking the same things other people like. Similar, maybe I like other aspects of it. It's hard to explain exactly. It's hard to explain why you like a thing.
Yeah.
I can explain how it started, but liking it how I like it exactly isn't like super easy.
So when you play it and you're in your brain, the dopamine goes into the receptors.
Exactly, but I don't know the trigger for the dopamine. That's the thing. I know you're doing a joke, but off of that, I don't know what the exact trigger of it. I guess like it's for games is also like a quick thing of enjoyment too. You also get to see yourself overcome things that you normally can't in real life, or it's like a quick goal achievement thing for you. So it does feel good to do that. And I guess Pokemon was the first place where I actually felt that, I guess, in terms of like video games.
Yeah, like when you're playing Skyrim and you see a caption that says you wake up feeling well rested. It's like, wow, you can do that?
Exactly. Man, it's a dream come true.
You can sleep.
You can sleep and get a well rest. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's why I hate video games. That's why I hate video games. They perpetrate to the male fantasy. All debt paid off.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Clear. Well rested.
alive.
I finally talked to someone.
How many
Oh.
hours would you like to sleep?
Yes, exactly.
For me, my origins is the N64. Probably towards the end of its, well, definitely towards the end of its days. With Mario Party 2 and Donkey Kong 64 and Mario Kart 64. I just remember sitting and playing them with my two siblings. Well, one at the time before my younger brother was born. And I remember just my pup would play them with us, and he would just sit on the couch and hit a couple buttons, and we'd be overjoyed because we had no idea how he was winning these games. It was just because he had a competent brain.
Yeah.
That's the
And
thing that you also realize too after you
it
actually grow up.
was they're some of the best and earliest memories of my life, and they gave me just fun in times where I was always picked on and whatnot. It just, outside wasn't the best thing for me. And then I would come home and I would just go and play these things, and I would take my like mind off of everything.
That's also fair for the outside not being the best thing for a lot of people. I mean, like if you weren't super athletic or just had fun with
I was
some of those
athletic.
games in general.
No, I
I'm
just
saying I'm
I have
saying if you just didn't like that stuff, if it didn't like
I
appeal
fit
to
in.
you.
If I didn't have a lot of the mental disabilities that I had, I probably would have been popular because I played baseball. I was good at it. I played soccer and basketball. I was on everything. I was smart. I just was awkward and quirky and weird and loud and obnoxious. I couldn't control anything. And
I know how that
yeah,
feels.
it made life just hell. Especially in a Catholic school where everyone looks the same and then you're the one who just looks different because of things you can't control. And,
That,
it was hard.
that's also very fair.
Uh,
Video games also just provide that comfort too.
yeah,
I'd say.
they provided me an outlet where I was like, nothing's gonna hurt me when I play this. Nothing, like, it's just fun. And then I got
I mean,
my own Nintendo DS Lite, and so I didn't have to play on my brother's um, old big clunky Nintendo DS anymore. I got my own light, and I brought that on the bus every day, and that got me a bit of popularity because nobody had that. That was an expensive thing in 2006 or whatever, 2007. People, I had one, and I had Mario Kart, and that was huge on the bus. That was huge because I had an hour bus ride. So we would play Mario Kart, and you know it would just be fun. Everybody would link up and we just play, and it was just so much fun. I still have that DS. I remember snapping it in half one day, getting angry because I had bad anger issues as well, on top of everything else, because I bottled everything inside. I remember hitting it on the front or the back side of the seat in front of me and snapping the top screen off, and it still worked. It didn't. It was still hanging on by a thread, and it still worked. I would just snap it back in, and then one day it didn't work, and yeah. So I still have the top half of it. I got rid of the bottom half because I used it for a tech class to see what was inside. And then I got a PSP, and I had that PSP for years, and then it just broke, and I don't remember how or why. And I still have it, but it's in pieces. But I didn't really play it a lot. I would give that to a couple of my bullies because they loved it, and they would make deals with me like, "Hey, we'll leave you alone if you let us play on your PSP." And I would be like, "Oh, yes, here, please, give me peace." And I would let them play with it, and that was good for a bit. It provided me like I didn't have to worry about them, and because they wanted to play it, they didn't mishandle it. So it was a weird dynamic.
To be fair, I think video games also did teach us a slight bit of responsibility too, of just like
It
be
didn't teach me
careful.
any. It didn't teach me any because I had anger issues and because I didn't know how to control a lot of things. I'm sure it did. That I'm probably an odd one out for this because I would smash things. I would just like
The-
you don't understand the amount of nunchucks and Wii remotes that we have that are broken. Just like you guys
I'd
know
say
how. Wait, no, no,
yeah,
no. You two know how angry I would get losing Smash Brothers games.
yeah,
Yep.
that's very fair.
Like how frustrated I would get
As
because I wanted
Joey
to be
being
better.
good and me being really annoying.
Like and me having to try to prove to people that I didn't have to prove because I wasn't bad at the game. You guys are just better, but I didn't understand that concept, and I always felt like I had to prove something, and I didn't. But that's how my brain was built in that first year because I was still coming out of high school where I was, you know, I was bullied a lot in the beginning of high school, and then I was better in senior year, but I was still in that area where I still had all those people around me where I had to be something different. So I came in with that mindset. And you guys remember how angry like that was much controlled. That was so controlled compared to me when I was a kid. Like when I tell you we had probably 15 to 20 Wii remotes because I don't like and I didn't realize it was all because of me. It's only like looking back that I'm like, wow, I just broke them all. And I didn't understand why they weren't working anymore. So it would make me break them even further. You know, like and then I would blame other people for them breaking it. I wouldn't realize it was me. The nunchucks would just not work because I would just Jesus Christ. But it gave me an outlet. Like even for that anger, like it gave me a bit of an outlet. I didn't take it out on people. I didn't take it out on things anymore or as much. And I learned just better, just how to control better. And it was good.
Yeah, yeah, it's. I think I've had. I think the one that did teach me responsibility though was definitely the original Nintendo DS, where it snapped on just falling from 1 foot. I'd say that thing would break instantly. And
Yeah.
I had the original one, the big bulky one, and then the DS Lite, which also wasn't as strong, which also wasn't very strong, but it still helped. But yeah, talking about outlet, dear lord, I still also was frustrated as a kid, and it helped to like have that, like, if you're sad or angry, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna play this, get my mind off of it. And I think like that was nice to have something, because normally as a kid you're not seen to, like, you're supposed to have problems, right? And
Hmm.
so you're normally not provided those kind of outlets. So normally you're just stuck with just being eh. But so but then you get the outlet of video games, and it's just like, okay, I actually have this that I can, like, you know have a hobby, basically a hobby outlet. It's nice to have. Video games are like an easily accessible one to have. And isn't super expensive as other outlets.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't have money for drugs because I spent it all on video games.
Listen, I'm just saying. Also, you don't get yourself hurt as much from video games as well
That's
as you would
true.
from other outlets.
Yeah,
You might get your
it
feelings hurt online, but that's to max.
I didn't play. That was the thing for me. I never played online for a long time.
That's very
Aside
fair.
from like local online, where like on the bus where we would link up to play Mario Kart, but like I wouldn't play online. I didn't know it existed. I didn't play online until like Minecraft, and when I was like 14. You know, I just yeah.
I think Minecraft, and it was either Minecraft or Black Ops 1 when I discovered online. And boy howdy, did I did I eventually get angry at other people and learn how to, you know, suck up
Hmm.
insults because of that. Because oh man, people would go off on you in lobbies. It
Yeah, they
was
would
nuts.
because they didn't care.
Yeah, it cared. That was also their outlet to just be pissed at you
Hmm.
for just opening the game that day.
Yep.
Or not feel like playing good, just like chilling and playing.
Joey, what's your origin story?
My origin story was when I was a child, I actually didn't like electronics or TV
Hmm.
shows, video games, whatever. Whenever they were on, I always tried to avoid them. But then I got an ear infection one day and I was in the hospital and my brother came to visit and I would go on the computer and do whatever on the computer, but he was hogging it and the only other option was a Nintendo 64 with Donkey Kong 64.
Hell
And
yeah.
and being a kid
Mhm.
with ADHD, I wasn't diagnosed. I still aren't diagnosed, but I think I know for a fact that I haven't. And I've had it
Uh,
for a while, but
you could
having
have
that,
other things that present themselves similarly, which is why you should get it figured out.
yes, I know. But going back to
Fucking,
the
fuck.
story, I was bored as a kid. I wanted to do something, so I played Donkey Kong 64. And the moment that DK rap went on, I fell
Oh
in
my god.
love.
It's so good. It's so cringy, but it's so good.
As a kid, you
It's
don't care
cringe.
about cringe.
No,
You really
exactly.
don't.
As a kid, cringe is
Because
what's
as a
the
kid,
best.
as a kid, you are the cringe. You live and breathe
Exactly.
cringe as a kid.
I bled Sonic Blue when I was young. I still kind of do, but like
I
now I'm much
feel
more
that.
cynical. Like I bled it. Like I would make my own things in my head, like my own Sonic stories, not my own OCs. I never did that. I thought that was weird. But I would make my own stories with the characters in Sonic. Like, oh my god, that's so nostalgic for me to think about. Yo, Sonic Adventure's getting a remaster. Let's go.
Is it? Oh, that's sick.
Yes.
When did this get
Oh,
announced?
Hold on. A
like I didn't.
remaster. Remastered.
But I didn't know that you originally didn't like. You didn't like
Yeah, you didn't like
the
Sonic?
video games. You didn't like the video games. You didn't like any electronics at all.
Yeah, so was when I was a kid, everything was foreign. I was just like, eh. At least this is from what other people tell me. But the moment I did that, I just fell in love with video games, and I remember so many times just staying up in the middle of the night playing games with my brother. And then when I heard steps, like we had the game stuff in our basement, and when I heard steps down the stairs, I would like pretend to be asleep while my brother would continue playing. And yeah, and my dad would carry me up and then I would fall asleep while pretending to be asleep. And
Sonic
then
Sonic Adventure Remaster officially teased by Sega. Let me see if I can find the link because right now all I can see is the videos talking about it.
yeah. And I mean, after I fell in love with video games, I have a lot of memories, like playing Crash Bash with my brother and my dad, and then playing Sly Cooper on PS2. And then I also remember one time I had like a Ratatouille birthday where an actual chef came over and we made our own food and watched Ratatouille at the end. And in the middle of it, I got really distracted and went to my brother and we had like our own little separate game playroom and he was playing Super
Mhm.
Paper Mario and I was just like, "Oh, I want to play that. I don't want to cook, but I still want to cook."
Listen, I can't cook, but you can. Anyway,
Yeah.
I have fond memories of video gaming. I mean, I still have other stuff of like. I think I said before that certain games did awaken stuff for me because I definitely don't game like how I used to. I've changed completely from the person that just was wide-eyed for Pokemon as a kid. Like the completionist got unlocked by the freaking Lego Star Wars. The competitive side of me, I think that was unlocked through I think Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi 3, where like a bunch of people would occasionally come over, a bunch of other kids in the neighborhood knew I had like a PlayStation 2 and had another controller, so we would
Oh,
come
fuck
over
this
and
guy.
actually come over
God
and
damn it.
play that.
Never mind. I don't know if it's even happening.
Someone
I
lied to
fell
you on
for
the
a
internet.
No, I fell for a source that is reputable, but was wording things very specifically, and I didn't catch on to the joke.
And then you I see, understandable.
So anyway, I don't know about that,
Yeah.
but I bled Sonic Blue when I was a kid. I still do. I remember so Sonic Adventure 2 might be the game that I played the most in my entire life because I don't know how much I played it, but I remember. All right, you guys can't judge me here. I might have mentioned this when we did our Sonic podcast. I know verbatim everything about Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure 1, and almost Sonic Heroes. I can beat those games probably blindfolded if necessary.
I think you
I
have
know
mentioned this before.
I know where every emerald can spawn in all of Knuckles' level and Rouge's levels. I know where the secrets are. I know how to find all 3 of the secret pets in every level when they're there, like the dragon, the unicorn, and the golden phoenix. Like, I know everything because I played them so much. And I OCD'd them so much. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like, oh.
I get it, man. I get it, man. For me, I'd say it was Pokemon Fire Red.
Yeah, that was another one for me.
Because that was like the first Pokemon game I could actually like join in at the time that it was happening.
That and
Like I
Pokemon
was
Ruby
saying,
are my game, like my Pokemon games that I'm like, I know everything.
you see, by the time like I had got interested in Pokemon as a kid, I should say that that I caught on with like, everyone else. It was like time for Fire Red and Leaf Green. Like Ruby,
Right.
Sapphire, I knew were out, but like I didn't get a chance to get it because I didn't have a Game Boy Advance. And so as soon as Fire Red and Leaf Green came out, I was able to get it, and I was like, "Oh, this is just like the other one, but slightly looks better and actually is better for some reason. I can't tell why, but it's better. I can't tell why, guys. It's better."
I remember because this
And
is
I
origin
like,
stories. This isn't like our like I didn't play Zelda because a lot of people are like, why isn't he talking about Zelda? Why isn't he talking about his favorite franchise? Why isn't he talking about Fire Emblem or Smash Bros? You guys don't understand. I didn't play Legend of Zelda until I was like 15. I didn't play Fire Emblem until I was maybe 18.
I
You
mean,
know,
to be fair, if it's a big section of like why you play video games, I think it still counts.
but it's not even close to my origin story. I
Fair enough.
wasn't a big Mario fan per se. I liked a couple of them. I liked a lot of the spin-offs. I liked watching a lot of games as a kid as well. I didn't like playing. I loved watching my brother play Endless Ocean and Far Cry 3 a lot, a lot, a lot. And I don't know why. Um, and I didn't like playing them, but I loved watching him play them. And I liked New Super Mario Bros. The first one, the only one that should have ever been made. I liked that one. I remember playing that with my younger brother at the time, and it was fun. Back before we hated each other, and now we don't hate each other anymore. But those are some of my early positive memories of him. And I loved watching people play, or watching my brother play Paper Mario Thousand Year Door specifically, and then Super Paper Mario, which I concede is a great game. I think there's 3 good Paper Mario. 4. I like Origami King, but that's divisive. And I probably only like Origami King because of how bad Sticker Star and Color Splash were. But I think objectively there's 3 good Paper Mario games, and I don't think it's up for debate because Super Paper Mario is so fucking good. That story is amazing. Like, it made me cry. Like, it was so good. Cheesy? Yeah, sure, a little bit. Fun? Bruh, it was awesome. You know, it was still an RPG. It was a little more action based, but it was still an RPG. It was good. We hadn't had a story like that from Nintendo since Metroid. Like, It was awesome.
Oh no! Sorry, something just happened for me.
But I remember DK64 was probably my origin because while I think I played Mario Party 2 and Mario Kart 64 first, DK64 was the first game that I played like by myself and loved, no matter how much I couldn't beat it, because I've never beaten that game. I don't have it anymore, and the last time I played it was when I was a kid. I don't have it anymore, or else I would have beaten it by now. But when I was a kid, I got stuck on the Jack in the Box, and I wasn't competent enough as a person to understand how to beat it. But it didn't stop me from playing that game so much, like too much. I loved that game so much. And then the Wii came out, and I became addicted to Wii Sports to the point where I could still. I think you guys remember back when He Who We Don't Name hosted that like Wii Sports tournament at the Gameroom. Like, I don't know if either of you saw what I was doing on the bowling game. Like, I almost scored a perfect game. Like, I knew exactly where to roll the ball. Like, it has to hit right off the side of the first pin, like the front pin, and you'll always get a strike. And I knew exactly how to. I don't know if either of you saw it. Hopefully, one of you did. I know I played James in boxing.
I do remember boxing. That one was fun.
I remember
real life boxing stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. I think didn't we split? Didn't we go 2-2 and then we had to go?
I think so. And I remember being disappointed about that. Actually,
I think
was
remember.
Oh, come on! The 11th hour.
Yeah,
I
was frustrated because I had beaten the other people that I played against, and then you were like, "Hey, I'm pretty good at this boxing," and I'm like, "I'm really good at Wii Sports. Let's play." And then we played, and we were sweating.
We were sweating
because I remember.
Yes.
I remember I won game. I remember I won the first one, like pretty clean because I played really weird, but you were using real boxing stuff, and I didn't understand it, but I was just winning. And then you dominated me in game 2 and game 3. Like, you beat the fuck off of me. And I said, like, wait, one more. Let's go best of 5. And I won game 4 like really close. And then we were both about to go, and like something happened. I think I had to go to class or something. I don't remember exactly what happened. We had to go because we didn't get to finish. I remember that.
Yes.
But you beat the stuffing out of me. I never lost that bad in any Wii Sports game ever. And like, once you figured out like my game plan, which is, not boxing.
Just like, oh, I can apply this. Okay, I've learned how we fight.
Because it was kind of like a Joey Smash thing where I was just completely unorthodox in game 1. And I beat you pretty clean in game 1. But you immediately looked at me and you're like, no, we're not done with this. We're playing again. Get back on here. And then you beat the shit out of me. Oh my God. I remember playing the golf one as well. Wii Sports might have been the first, like Donkey Kong might have been my first real game, but Wii Sports was the first game that I like took seriously and like memorized and learned and realized, hey, I'm good at video games. I beat the shit out of people in Wii Sports. Like, it wasn't fun for them. Like in all of them, boxing might have been my worst one.
That's fair.
Because boxing was a lot harder because it took actual like athletic ability.
Movement.
I knew how to get the aces. I know the aces are really just luck, but somehow I would always get them when I needed them. And I would trick people into thinking that there was a trick, and I knew there wasn't. And they would just hit different buttons, and I knew what all the buttons did, so I just would use that to my advantage to know that they're trying things. And I'm like, all right, well, they can only try so many things. And baseball, I was just good at baseball. I played baseball for 16 years, so I knew how to hit the ball. And I always used the splitter as well because I was a tryhard. But bowling and golf were my best ones. I knew how to do shortcuts in the golf. That's how good I was. Like, I could hit it over like certain things by finagling the wind to my, like, you guys don't understand. Wii Sports was my inauguration into competitive games, really. And then I played Mario Power Tennis, and that was when I broke my wall with a Wii remote because And that was the first time my dad ever heard me swear. And it was funny looking back on it. Because I was very good at Mario Power Tennis. I remember I would beat because there was like 3 courts or something like that, and there was like 3 tournaments, and yet so I was beating them all on all their difficulties, and I got to the final difficulty on like I think it was the clay court, and I couldn't beat the team that I was playing. I kept getting to like the winners, like the second to last one, and I couldn't win because as you know in those games AI doesn't get it's not difficulty isn't measured in skill, it's measured in perfection of things. So like the AI getting better just means that they're not going to miss things. It's not about their skill, it's about them being programmed to be more perfect. So
none.
I remember I spent like a few hours on it one day after school, and I kept losing, and I threw the Wii remote into the wall and said son of a bitch, and I held the bitch, and my dad like said, "What did you just say?" And I just remember saying nothing. Sorry, I'm just really mad at the game. Like as if that's a justifiable reason for breaking something and denting a wall.
And swear, good loud.
Oh my god!
I mean, to be fair,
yeah.
God, what was the first? I think it was. I forget which fighting game it was. It wasn't Street Fighter and it wasn't Mortal Kombat, but I played a fighting game very extremely as a kid where I was just like, okay, I know actually how to do some of this stuff. I can actually beat some of the. Hold on, let me see. It was like an early. It was an early PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, I should say. I should.
King of
I
Fighters?
can look it up. I don't remember too much.
Mark of
I just
Perot?
remember it. Hold on. It still might have been actual like one of them, and I just don't remember because I didn't play one of the main ones. Was it Virtua Fighter? Let me look
Virtua
at.
Fighter is a 3D game.
Yeah, it is Virtua. That wasn't the one I played then. What the? I might have actually played. It might have been Mortal Kombat, and I just don't remember. It might have been Mortal Kombat. Which one was it though? Was it? It wasn't Armageddon, was it? I think it was Deception that I played, and I don't remember who. I remember it wasn't Liu Kang. Who was it? Who the fuck was it? Kung Lao? Did I use Kung Lao? And is Kung Lao even in Deception?
I don't know any of this. That's why I'm quiet.
questioning so much now. I remember playing that fighting game, and I moved on to something else. Basically, that's what I moved on to Street Fighter. Afterwards, is what I'm saying. It was Street Fighter.
I didn't play
Strike.
any Street Fighter game until I believe Street Fighter 5. I might have played 4 with a high school friend beforehand, but I definitely remember playing Street Fighter 5 and then being incredibly disappointed because I was one of those single player gamers and was just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
There was no single player content.
Yeah.
That's where I benefit.
I remember us actually bonding over that because it was bullshit.
Yeah.
We didn't get one until like I think like half of the year later, a couple of months until when it came out.
Yeah, it was something really stupid.
What is that guy? What's that blind guy? What's that blind guy's name in Mortal Kombat? It was him. I think I played. I can't remember his exact name now because I don't play Mortal Kombat anymore. But I thought he looked very cool.
The only
So I
time
actually
played
practiced.
the only time I played Mortal Kombat was when we entered the tournament, and I was basically a complete newbie.
It's to be fair, Mortal Kombat at that time when they actually made a tournament for the Gameroom it became a very like popular game, so a lot of people knew how to do it, knew how to play the game. So us picking up and just having basic knowledge on it didn't really help too much. It also didn't
Mhm.
help that it was single elimination, but that's a whole other thing entirely.
Yeah.
Dear God, yes, single elimination. Fighting games in general, I think were like after I picked it up, I'm like, oh man, I really like this
I
because it was like
can't wait till Fighter Z gets rolled back in
Fighter Z
2025.
gets like. I can't wait until Street Fighter 6, my guy. I can't wait until
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6. That looks sick.
It really does. But the thing is, I have a low attention span, so knowing me, I'm gonna play with you guys, and just be like, oh, this is fun. Now to move on back to Binding of Isaac or Risk of Rain 2 or some other kind of grindy game.
Yeah, man, if it actually is good enough, you could just play it regularly.
You're saying
And
that like
especially
I
if it does,
can.
especially if it doesn't piss us off like Fighters did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We both got our wins in Fighters every now and then, but we just hated the gameplay. Honestly,
Yeah, it's
we
like you get
hated how
hit
characters
once
did.
and you take half damage. Either you with your spirit bomb or
Oh no,
me with my gu-
that was lethal. That was a lethal combo,
Yeah.
which was bullshit, and I do admit that.
And then I would get you with my grabs, which I knew were bullshit too. Or my Janemba
Command grab.
combos, which I learned, and I was
Oh
just like,
god.
Janemba. Yeah.
To be fair, Krillin got annoying at the end too because I just learned his mix-ups,
Yeah.
and they were just unfair mix-ups. Oh man, but it had its own fun though too, of just like, look at this new thing I can do, basically.
Yes. And I was always picking up new characters. It's like, what can this character do?
Yeah, and it also would also be like, oh dang, now I can't use the same stuff I learned, or having to see you like learn a new character was always kind of messed up for me too. Cause I was just like, dang it, now I have to deal with this new thing that I'm not used to. Oh, and it also has a command grab. Great.
Yeah, I love those command grab characters. People hate them, but I love them.
Oh man, they can't really get to it because it's just like, oh no, I didn't expect in the middle of me blocking to have to wait for a grab as well.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, you can't just immediately go into block string into grab or command grab. You kind of need to wait a little bit.
There's a
But
wait, yeah.
I didn't care. I would just do it and then do it again. It's like, that's the mix up. I love the
It would mix me up all the time, and I did not like it. Like I had to get actually used to the. I had to get good because I was facing against you. And I hated like just having to do that all the time.
Yeah, people who have played me in fighting games know that I am the worst kind of menace, where even I don't know what I'm doing.
It's just like, God damn it. You have the technical knowledge, but it still pisses me off when you do
Yes.
this bullshit. So like you know what you're doing. You have the level of skill of an actual person that's played a fighting game, but you decide to go off the rails anyway. So it's just like, what the fuck is this?
Yes.
A lot of the time.
And both of you know how fighting against that feels. Whether it's in Smash or in fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
The size we have.
Yeah.
But I still do love fighting games like all the time. Even if it is bullshit, it's just like it's the literal thing of actually watching yourself improving. It's really easy to see if you've improved or not in the fighting game.
Yeah. The only problem is I only play when I have other people that I know who are playing with me. Like, I would play Guilty Gear Strive with one of my high school friends, or I would play Under Night and Birth CLR with some guys from like the fighting game Discord. And yeah, it would be a blast. And then I would be by myself and I'm like, I want to play this. There's nobody to play, and I don't want to play against randoms. Guess I'm not playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That or the netcode's terrible. And it's a grab bag whether or not the game is actually going to be playable, like with Smash, or with Smash, or maybe Smash.
I remember I first played Smash with. I don't know if I don't think I started with Melee. I think I started with Brawl. Maybe I played Melee. I know I played Melee at it, but I don't remember playing that first. I remember at least caring about Brawl a lot more. Um, Brawl is the game that changed my life. Brawl is the game that made me a fan of a lot of franchises. Brawl made me the fan of Fire Emblem that I am because I loved Ike and Marth and all them. No, I definitely played Melee first. And
I played Melee first
I
too.
always played Marth, Roy, and DK.
I played Roy because I thought he was better than Marth.
Yeah, how wrong we were.
I really didn't have a solid mate. I played the game, and I think Pokemon Trainer in Sonic are what I played in Brawl because I just liked the characters.
My brother
You know,
played Sonic. As much of a Sonic fan as I was, I hate him in Smash Brothers.
oh yeah, that's very fair.
Like, I
Very
love
fair.
Sonic, and I cannot stand him in
Right.
Smash Brothers, period. I just don't like him.
That's fair. I mean, he's
I
also
don't.
got some bad representation in Smash as a game entirely, too. So,
But Brawl made me a fan of a lot of games. Like it, it just. I remember after playing Brawl a lot that I wanted to learn where these characters were from, and I remember, I played Brawl, by the way, when I was like 8 or 9, maybe a little, So I didn't play these games right away, but I remember playing them and finding interest in them, and like watching people play them. Like I remember watching Chugga Conroy play a bunch of like Legend of Zelda games and whatnot. I loved it, and I never got to play them for a while, um, because they were expensive at that time. Because the consoles that they were on, all the GBA or handheld games were getting more expensive because they weren't new anymore and they were becoming hard to find. And there hadn't been a new Zelda for a while, aside from Twilight Princess, but I wasn't completely sure I wanted to play them yet. And I didn't really know, like, because I was just a kid. I was like, all right, just want the new Pokemon. And that's it, you know. And I didn't really step out. I didn't really change my boundaries. And then I got into like middle school and then early high school, and I like got my own things, got my own stuff. But by that point, you know, it was Skyward Sword, and I hadn't heard good things, and I didn't really have an option or a way to play a lot of those older games. I didn't have the Switch or 3DS where I could use all these online stores. I didn't know how the Wii Shop worked, so I didn't play these games till I was older. Um, and then I got my 3DS, and that's when a lot of things changed. When I got my 3DS, I became a fan of Zelda, playing Zelda. I became a playable fan of Zelda, Fire Emblem, Pikmin, Star Fox, um, the spin-off Pokemon games, which became what I liked even more than, to this day, the mainline games, which was Mystery Dungeon, Ranger, um, and then I got uh, Earthbound. The 3DS changed my view on games. It opened me up to more Nintendo games, and once I played all of those, I realized how much I loved RPG. And then I started getting a lot of RPGs that were on game, like on stuff. I still didn't have a PlayStation because I was a Nintendo fanboy. I didn't really understand the other markets, um, but I knew the familiar characters that I saw, and so I tried their games. You know, so then the Switch came out, right? My first paycheck. I had bills to pay, mind you. My first paycheck after I graduated high school and got a job a month later. My first paycheck, or 2 paychecks, I guess, which should have gone to my bills, I bought a Nintendo Switch. Wasted it all. And then I owed an extra $200 in the next 2 weeks for my bills, which I had to waste all of my money on those instead. But I got my Switch, and I got Breath of the Wild. And over time, I got Ys, I got Tales, I got a bunch of other RPGs, and I just grew. I grew and loved these things. And I would watch a lot of people play games, but I stopped doing that because I was like, I want to play these games. And if I keep watching people play these games, I'm not going to enjoy them when I play them. So I stopped watching. And that was a big thing for me because I was like, I loved watching them, but I liked playing them even more and I wanted to play them now. And so I had to, I stopped. That was like an early high school thought where I was like, I want to play these games, so I can't watch these anymore. But I didn't have a way to play them. So now I had a way to play them. With my 3DS, I got all the old Zelda games on it. I have all the Oracle games, both of the Oracle games, Minish Cap. I have Zelda 1, 2, and Link to the Past. I had Metro. I also became a Metroid fan with 3DS. I got Metroid, Metroid 2, Super Metroid. I bought, not on the eShop because it wasn't there. I bought online Zero Mission, Fusion. On the Wii Shop, I bought Metroid Prime Trilogy. And I just because these games never let me down. Like I loved them. They never hurt me. They always provided an outlet that I was like, oh, I can just forget and enjoy things. I don't have to worry about life. It was good. It was good times.
And I 100% agree with that. Lets you just forget about life because life isn't ever always good, if you know what I
No.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always going to be its downs, and that's why I play games. Because when it has its downs, I can make them be ups with what I want. The whole reason why I enjoyed Elden Ring when I did was because I was working in a dead-end ShopRite job. And yeah, I had to vent out my
Really.
frustrations against like
That's when I
customers and
started
shit.
playing Ninja Gaiden as well. Because I would just like beat the shit out of things.
Yeah.
Speed,
Beating the shit out of things that try to beat the shit out of you is very,
Very
very
satisfying.
therapeutic.
Yeah.
focusing your anger into the game is really something like
Yeah.
adopted, I guess. I think I don't really know which. I'd say I guess Overwatch is that for me now. I guess because that when I definitely get more angry in Overwatch than any other game right now.
That's why I
So
don't play those games. They're not fun. Yeah,
No,
they're
it's
skill based.
fun, but I literally get more angry not because they
It's
piss me
because of the
off.
people.
Yeah.
I don't say I'm getting pissed.
I don't
at
want
the
to play
people.
games where I have to deal with other annoying people. Because that's the whole reason I play games is to not have to deal with other annoying people.
I didn't say that. It's more of like I guess.
But that's why I don't like them.
I would say Overwatch annoys me because there's annoying people. I'm saying like I normally mostly because I can fight against someone else and it feels like I'm actually like struggling a lot regularly that I can actually like and then also take on and beat the people, I guess is why I say I get more angry at that. Because I'm like actually feel like I'm fighting something regularly. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, it does.
It's a weird thing. Like, I would say I do it for tough games. What do you? Is it for mostly when I know I'm facing another person? I guess is how I should put it. I feel it sounds kind of like actually like thuggish actually when I say it like that.
What?
It sounds kind of thuggish when I say it like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I know I'm facing another person, I can take out my anger on the other person on the side of the screen. Is
Fair
how
enough.
I describe it.
Makes sense to me.
Uh,
I felt like this would have been a longer topic, but I think we're done.
I mean, there's still other stuff I can talk about. Like,
Then talk. Let's go.
sure.
Oh,
What
I
I've
got a
been
PS. Sorry, that was a joke. Go.
So, when it comes to like why I like fighting games, I guess should be the proper way to say this. It would be because like I wouldn't say like I liked it as much as I do now. It would probably be because of Joey, honestly, because we actually
Yeah.
played regularly. Like we actually
Sorry, you
we were
guys knew
both
each other before.
no, we didn't know each other before school, but
No, I mean
we
you met
basically
before I met you because you guys are older.
yes, yeah.
Yes.
We joined college before, and we both talked about Street Fighter Five, and then we both went to go play it. And then, like, since we were both like having very actually like good matches, like it got me hooked on it to
Yeah.
like continue playing and practicing.
Yeah. Once you have someone who's around your skill level, you just want to continue playing with them.
It's
Hmm.
very big motivator having you could say a rival for that.
Hmm. I got a PS4 finally,
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
and like that's where I'm at my gaming history. My origin as a Nintendo fanboy and an illiterate gamer has culminated in having so much experience with games. And I got games, and I got the PS4 for Christmas. I now have Star Ocean, 3-Star Ocean, 2-Star Ocean games, East, Memories of Celceta, Tales of Berseria, Tales of Zestiria, Dragon Quest 11, and Scarlet Nexus. So I'm
Nice.
already making waves with PlayStation that I can't do with Nintendo, and I'm happy about it.
One game I'll recommend to you, which I have been playing recently and it's been kicking my ass, but I love it. God of War.
Yeah, I keep hearing that, but I just don't vibe with that setting as much as other people.
Have you played the previous God of War games?
No,
Okay.
I played early God of War, and I haven't played. I really
'Cause
should play the
they're
new sets of.
phenomenal. Let me rephrase what I said. They are cinematic, phenomenal, gorgeous games in their right. They are great. I have nothing but respect for them. I just don't, and I think that if they changed the setting, I would love them. I just don't have an interest in mythology, and I know that's a very big thing. I know it's a lot of fighting, and I know you can ignore it, but I can't ignore story because that's what I play a lot of games for, especially RPGs. And I just don't care for the mythology, but I think it deserves all the credit it's got. And this isn't me like sucking up to a game just because I know it has a good reception. Because I fucking hate Call of Duty, and I know that's got a good reception. But I wish Call of Duty never existed because I just think it's a dog shit, awful,
Well, I'd
awful
say some
thing.
of them are. I'd say
No,
some of them are dog shit.
I think they are bare bones shooters. After, with the exception of two, Black Ops 2.
I figured
think
it was Black Ops and Black Ops 2 would
I think
be it.
aside from Black Ops 2, that is a trash franchise with nothing to offer, no variation, and
I,
nothing that you can't find somewhere else
I
with more
heard Modern
variation.
War. I feel like
I
Modern
just
Warfare is
I don't
good.
I just don't care what your opinion is. I disagree.
I'm not saying that. I'm
And
saying
this is
like
one of the
I've
ones that
heard
I've
like it's
played.
actually.
Like I've played a lot of Call of Duty games because it's one of the ones that I'm like everybody tells me, "Oh, it's so good. It's the best shooter." I'm like, "All right, let's try the new one." Nope, still not good. There's better shooters than everyone. Every one of them. I don't like Halo. Halo's better. Doom's better. Wolfenstein's better. I don't like Battlefield, but Battlefield's better. Like, it's just because Call of Duty games are the same fucking thing every time. Every time.
I mean,
It's insane how nothing but the graphics change. And sometimes they don't even change.
Sometimes you can find comfort in things that are similar to what you've done, like very similar or the
Yeah,
same.
but I don't think that it deserves all the success that it's gotten when it hasn't done anything.
I mean, I feel like
It's
when they add
it's
new
successful because
variations
it's a
on
gun game.
zombies, also good. I mean,
It's
yeah, it's a gun game, but they do good
you
gun
know,
games.
it's
They
edgy
do
gun game.
good. I mean, my personal favorite for the ones that they actually do well,
I know I'm in the
would be the
minority.
Black.
I
What
know
it is in the Black Ops series is when they actually variate like zombies a lot, because I love zombies, because it's a co-op game, and also it does change itself a lot more for that one. It's a continuation story normally for like they put it together. I say like for a lot of the Call of Duty games, they actually do reference each other a lot, connect in some way, shape, or form, which I do think is pretty interesting. It's just like if it's not for
I
you, that's
just don't
understandable.
care.
That's fair enough.
I love you, James. I respect your opinions on 99.9% of things. Before this podcast, it was 100% of things, and now it's 99.9
I can live with that.
because Call of Duty has done nothing. Like when I would say to people that I like, what's your hobby? Like, oh, I play games. I have to now, because of those style of games, I have to specify that I play real like games. I play games that have like
You play something
substance.
besides shooters.
I don't play
You play something.
shooters, and then I lose half of the conversation because people just well, shooters are the best game. I'm like, you haven't played a video game. You've held your dad's gun and said, "Oh, this is great," and then you played it for thousands of hours, ignoring your girlfriend and ignoring your studies. All right, I play
Well,
games that have enriched my
that
soul.
one was oddly specific. That one was oddly specific there.
Because all the jocks play it. It's so annoying that they think they're culturally good. They've reached with a lot of communities, especially the gaming ones. Because I play Call of Duty, I play Fortnite. You can go fuck yourself. You've never touched a game in your life. You don't understand what gaming is. That's all we have. No.
Mike feels really strongly
hate it.
about.
I hated
about
having to
the
argue with
shooty
people.
McShooter game.
I hated having to argue with people about like, because yeah, it's a video game, but Call of Duty, what makes Call of Duty a video game and what makes Nintendo games, Sega games, PlayStation games, like classic games, what makes them video games is so different. Not like obviously they're different genres, but even taking Call of Duty and Doom, same genre, same shooter genre. Call
I
of
get what
Duty
you mean.
and Wolfenstein, Call of Duty and Battlefield.
In the same vein as for sports games.
But like sports game
person,
people aren't pretentious as shooter game people.
First one is the in between for normies and and the actual gaming world. I'll say that.
Yeah.
The
I don't have a problem
the
with
normie genre.
I don't have a problem with sports game people because sports games are fine, whatever. Because there's multiple different sports. You know, with the shooting games, they're so pretentious. These people think that they are so good at something. And I'm like, you're doing nothing. You're like, all you're doing is hitting one button and shooting a gun. And you think you're amazing. All right. I get it. Cool. Stop thinking that you're this revolutionary gamer when you don't even know what a Sega system is. You don't even understand what came before Xbox 360.
I do understand where you're coming from, as normally when people do play shooters, that is the only genre they touch.
Yeah, it's annoying.
And
it's specifically shooter people that play Call of Duty and that's it. And then they think that they're great. And they know a lot about games and they talk as if they're worldly inclined. Like, you play the most bare bones basic shooter ever to come out. Ever. That's it. Like, stop. Go home.
But Mike, if they go home, they're gonna play their shooty game. You're being cut to.
Fine, but at least I don't have to hear about it.
But
Oh my god, I
feel
hated those people. I wanted.
But I
It was almost enough for me to play the shooter games just so that because I know I would be better than them, just because I play a lot of games and I know how to use controllers to their utmost and put in that amount of time. Like it almost got to the point where I wanted to play them just so that I would find these people online, shut them up, and then go back to playing Donkey Kong and show them that they're nothing. Oh my god! I remember somebody was talking to me about playing a shooter, and they were like, "How to I had like a good score or whatever," and I was sitting here playing, a Super Mario or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness, and they looked at me and like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's a DS." They're like, well, "What is a DS?" And I look at him, I'm like, "Didn't you just have like a conversation with this girl about how you're a great gamer and like you love to play games?" He's like, "Yeah, I do love to play games. I'm a gamer." And I looked at him like, "And you don't know what a DS is?" It's like, "No. What do you not understand, kid?" I'm like, "Do you know what I'm playing?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "You don't know what this is?" He's like, "No." And I looked at him and I'm like, "This is Pokemon and this is Nintendo. They are what started your gaming love. They without their company, games wouldn't be where they are." He's like, "Oh, so they're old. So they're like, you know, old, cheap games." I'm like, "I may be skinny gamer kid and you may be a jock, but I'm so close to punching you in the teeth." I didn't say that because I didn't want to get punched in the teeth as well. But like they were just arrogant and I hated it. Oh my god. And then the best part about that conversation was the girl came up to me and was like, "Oh, I love Pokemon." And I was like, "This has been a good day." She took my DS and like played it for an hour, got stuck in a wall and didn't know what to do because she was stupid, and gave it back to me. I never spoke to her again.
understandable.
But it was a cool day. Oh man. Anyway, sorry.
It's understandable. I understand your hate of people that don't play anything besides the one genre of the,
No, it's not that.
the,
It's that they only play that, and then they
no.
think that they're amazing.
Like you say, they're
Like that's
amazing.
what gets me
They're
annoyed.
probably amazing at that game.
Not even.
And
Most of the time, they can be beaten by most other people. Because a lot of times they were the people that got angry all the time.
That's very understandable, Mike. It's very understandable. I understand your frustration. I do. I
Good.
understand what you're coming from. Not that I agree with it fully, but it's understandable.
Yeah, I will. There, I'd say there's fun to have in every game. Say for, it's not for everyone. It's just anybody can have fun with whatever game they want. Some people have fun with games like Sonic. What was it? Sonic 06 or Rise of Lyric. Those types of games. And you can't really fault them because they're having fun with what they like. Now, you may not agree, but that is life. You will not always agree.
Mm.
But anyway, Sonic sucks.
Wow,
It does.
Sonic 06. Sonic sucks from time to time, but it's doing an uptick now.
Yeah.
And honestly, you know what? Good for Sonic. Again, another one of the earlier games that I did have fondness for. And also, like, I don't know. I guess it's good to see it come back, I should say.
Yeah.
When it's been in the shits for a very long time.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Sonic, like, it's hard for me because a lot of the Sonic games that are terrible, I played as a kid, so I love them. Because that's when you're supposed to play Sonic. Because that's when its flaws are not noticeable.
Fair enough.
And, like, because I loved Sonic in the Black Knight. I hated Sonic in the Secret Rings even as a kid, so that's how you know that one sucks. But, like,
That's fair.
I loved Shadow the Hedgehog. I loved Sonic Heroes. I still do. I love Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2. I still do. I love, you know, I never played Sonic Unleashed. And I always hated it because it was only on the Xbox. No, it wasn't. It was on the Wii, but I never got it for the Wii, and I didn't know it was on the Wii. I just remember only seeing it for the Xbox.
And
I
the Wii
remember
version was the PS2 version.
Yeah. And I remember hating it because I was like, oh, I'm never gonna get to play this. It's only on Xbox. Because that was at the time where I was still didn't understand how markets worked and how different games could be on different consoles. So I was like, oh, it's on Xbox. It must only be there. And I was like, and I looked at it and I'm like, God, it's only on Xbox. This looks awful. Oh, it's on Xbox. It must suck. Like I just remember that being my mindset and I never gave it a chance. And now I'm glad that a lot of people don't like it and a lot of people do like it, but I've never played it. I've seen it played. It's whatever. It's not, it's fine. Generations is fantastic. But like a lot of the bad games I played, like people hated Shadow, people hated the Storybook Saga. People had problems with Sonic Heroes, but I loved them.
Yeah.
That was before I realized that glitches were glitches and not just a skill issue. So,
I mean,
really,
fair enough.
who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to talk about the reason why we still play games or buy games today.
Oh, it's the same reason for me. I get it. It's an escape. And they're just, they're fun. I love the stories.
Yeah. For me,
I
it's
don't know if it's
usually
the same for you guys.
Yeah. For me, it's also the escape, but I also really love just buying a game and then having it on my shelf or having it in my digital collection. At a time, I thought digital was the only way to go because A, you get to play the game instantly as soon as it comes out. And, well, yes, that is something that is a pro for it. The con is, A, you don't really own your game physically.
True.
Yeah.
It's an issue. It's an issue.
Yeah. And I mean, I used to be a gamer where, hey, I bought Call of Duty on the Wii U. You can imagine why I never really got into it.
It depends on which game. Actually, I know which game.
Black Ops 2 and Ghosts.
Ghost is a really hard one to get into. But Black Ops 2, it wasn't the best experience on any version of on any Nintendo console.
No. Yeah. I hate Call of Duty.
To be fair, they do not work. The shooty McShooty games do not work the best on the Nintendo consoles.
What the hell are you talking about? I played with Wii Remote Nunchuck and it was amazing.
I mean, to be fair, when you use that, you're just built differently, not in a good way, but built unique, I guess.
Joey, I'm gonna have to revoke your citizenship card.
Too fucking bad. Hey, you want us to never record a podcast ever again? I'll fucking do it. Don't tempt me.
built
I play with
uniquely.
a fucking one. Honestly, with the Wii Remote Nunchuck for Call of Duty, it was kind of like a primitive keyboard and mouse.
Don't. Just, will
I
you
mean, to be
stop it?
fair, he's not wrong.
No, why?
You did
James?
have movement with the nunchuck,
Ah!
and you basically had your right click and your
You're
left click
getting
there.
crucified.
It's just that it's just really different. I didn't like it with that. I normally use the gamepad attachment for the Wii Remote to actually. If I ever did play it was for Black Ops 1, and I used the controller attachment for the Wiimote because I was just like, okay, this actually works. I had it for the Xbox 360 for my other Shooty McShooty games because not bad on this console.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shooty McShooty games are literally just point at an enemy, shoot, kill. There you go.
Well, I mean, there's other variations of Shooty McShooty game like TF2, Overwatch, Apex, and there's also Fortnite, but I mean that isn't exactly first. I mean, there's also Gears of War. Those are third person, but still, there's differences. There's differences. Like from the variations from one to the other, like feel good. But I guess
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't know. I get what you're saying, like in a sense of like we hate that. It's just like I think people that get under high horse the most in the who would you say gets under high horse the most in the fighting game community, John? Would you say it's more people in Mortal Kombat, or would you say it's
Or
Street Fighter?
high horse?
Get under a high horse.
Are you kidding
I'd
me?
say
It's
Consider
personally
Smash.
themselves
Street
better
Fighter.
than everybody else. I'd
Yes.
say
It's
either
Smash.
Street Fighter or Smash.
But
It's Smash.
I'd say I mostly say Street Fighter because Street Fighter has had low tier god
Yeah, but Street Fighter
and a lot of other
Smash gets on their
people.
high horse, and it's a lot worse because Smash isn't the best fighting game. It gets it gets the most views for a lot of things, but it's not the best. And they think they're the best because they
Okay,
get the
well it's
most
the same.
views.
It's the same vein for you because also Smash is kind of the normie game thing for for fighting games.
Yeah, and people think that it's the best, and I'm like, I love Smash. I do. One of my favorite games. Um, but no, it's the Smash, not Smash players. If we're going by players, I'd give it to Street Fighter. But
Yeah.
community, like a lot of the fans, it's definitely Smash. They're so
Overall,
far up their own
okay,
ass. It's not even funny.
Street Fighter has some of the worst, but overall as a community, Smash.
It's not
That's
bad.
understandable.
Street Fighter community is not bad.
Yeah, the Street Fighter. No, I'm saying as a overall, Smash takes
Yeah.
it as the worst one. When it comes to individuals, Street Fighter probably takes that one. Oh man, that's fair. That's fair. Well, mostly because like for Street Fighter, well, no, both Smash and like Street Fighter are like on stages very often. So but Street Fighter's kind of been there for a little bit longer. So I guess people probably get. I don't know. I don't know. I can't understand that kind of person, man. I can't get it exactly. I normally don't take myself too seriously when I'm playing video games in that sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
Normally, what I do, I just take that introspective of like, oh man, I'm playing a cyborg ninja dude. This is very cringe a little bit, but I still enjoy it. This is like I'm playing a video game. I'm taking this thing that's like designed for fun and taking it too seriously. Sometimes I think is where I get my mind. I guess if I do get to that.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes if there's money in question, you kind of deserve to take it too seriously. Because
I mean,
if you,
like, when it's money involved, yes, but I mean, like in the sense of like, if I'm playing the video game and I have fun, I shouldn't be like an asshole about it, if I'm
Yeah.
doing really good, or be
Yeah,
toxic
that's I hate
when
I hate
I'm not doing the
showboaters.
best.
I hate people that showboat and like act cocky. It's like fucking grow up.
I mean,
Be
it's
nice.
actually kind of a good strategy because it gets the opponent angry, and when
Oh, thanks, Joey. Being an asshole is a good strategy. Yes, it does
It
piss off the
is
other
a
person.
strategic thing. When it
when
I
comes to fighting
know.
games,
I
definitely.
know.
But
I know.
but
I know it is.
oh,
But human decency should step in at some time. Me secretly going behind like and stabbing you in the toe right before a football game is a good strategy because you won't be able to play well. But
well,
is
that's
it
no strategy.
morally nice?
He's talking about being gonna.
it's
No, it's not.
It's
it's the
more of
difference
like
sportsmanship and the whole
getting
difference
it.
of, is it a viable strategy? It's a tough debate.
No, it's not. It's very easy. The debate
Don't
is
be an
simple.
ass.
It's a good strategy, but you shouldn't do it because you're just being an asshole.
Except sometimes,
Embezzling funds is a good strategy to make more money if you could do it right. It's just not smart because you're screwing people over. It's not nice. Why would you do that?
there's a difference between screwing over people financially and then screwing over people.
You're still screwing them over financially because a lot of the tournaments have money on the line.
When there's money on the line, people use anything they can within the legal limits. And that's what I'm saying. If it's legally fine,
Yeah,
then why can't they do it? I know that it hurts to see people do that, but
it kills the
sometimes,
community's watching potential. People don't want to watch it.
yeah, and then it becomes a
Prices are
danger
bad
for
for the
the
community.
visibility. But the whole thing is it the community's reason why that's a viable strategy? Or is it the developer's reason why it's a viable strategy? Or is it a specific person's reason? It's very hard to pinpoint exactly why.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. You getting what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I understand it because I mean, trying to intimidate someone might not be the the lawful good way of doing something, but it's a way to get an edge over someone.
We talk about alignment charts? Yo, Mayo is the lawful evil of
Mayo is
video
lawful evil
games.
for what? Mayo's just
Mayo's,
lawful evil.
yes.
Just choosing Mayo in video games is just lawful evil. I don't know where I can choose Mayo in video games.
There's actually one video game where Mayo is like a beverage where it heals you. It's like one of those survival games. And
Beverage,
apparently, if
okay,
you,
no, beverage. That's lawful evil. That's lawful evil right there. I
I
heard
know.
beverage, and no, no, thank you. I understand now.
Honestly, that's another reason why I play video games, just silliness. Like, you're able to do whatever the fuck you want, depending
That's
on if
very
the game lets you.
I mean, yeah, there's also games with very few limits compared to other ones. So it's also it's very nice. It's very nice to have as an option.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. It's also good to have something that, like, especially if you actually do get good at a video game, it's also good to have that, too, of like the feeling of, oh, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
It's also a nice feeling.
Then again, if you're feeling like you're good at something, don't ever watch other people play it, because you're immediately going to go like, no, I'm not good anymore. I know that feeling because I play rhythm games and I'm just like, wow, I'm really good. I got a full combo on this song on normal difficulty. And I see people getting full combos on like evil difficulty or heathen difficulty. And
Nightmare.
it's like, nightmare, 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 nightmare. And it's just like, I'm not good at this game. What the hell? Because the whole reason why I got into rhythm games was because at school, I had a DS and I had Rhythm Heaven because someone got it for me. I think it was my grandma. Either way, I got really into it. And then for some fucking reason, the school board decided, oh, hey, the DSi came out. It has a camera. Ban. Even the original DS, even the DS Lite.
Oh yeah, I had the same thing happen to
That
me.
didn't happen for me.
It was just like, oh, this thing. Well, they had a thing with cameras that you could for some of our schools. So if they figured out a device had a camera, you were not allowed to show it. That was
Fair enough.
mostly also like for phones too. But if it had a camera like the DSi, the adults don't exactly know exactly what's a what. So they're like, oh, that thing looks like a DSi. Put it away. Don't want to see it again. Do it again. I'm gonna take it.
Yep.
Well,
And I hate it. It was mostly a problem with public schools.
All right, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. So are we done?
That's understandable. Mike is tired. And I think we talked about why we like video games, why we started playing video games, why we continue playing video games for a fair amount of time. So I feel like thank you all for listening to us talk about our love for video games yet again in this new year, 2023.
Yep.
Yes, thank you all once again so much for watching. This has been a really fun episode. I've always loved going back to my roots, even if it's not the most pleasant time in my life. Gaming was the pleasant time, so it's nice to talk about it. In 2 weeks we will have a podcast that I know nothing about. So look forward to that one. And yeah, 2023 is off to the races. So once again, my name's Mike.
I'm James.
And I'm Joey.
And thank you for watching the Game Room Discourse podcast. Have a good one.
See ya.
See ya.